Hi everyone, so today I'm gonna show you how I prep my nails for Gelix application. So what I will be using today are these soft gel tips from Jelly EU. They are in medium almond, as you can see on the box, and here I am just trying to find the best fit for my nails. I am sizing them and seeing if they fit from sidewall to sidewall. You can also see me in the video sort of rolling them between my fingers. I'm doing that because sometimes I feel that if I file the sides, I end up filing way too much and then it's too small. You can see me here sort of rounding the cuticle area just because on my index finger it's just kind of crooked. So to prep them, I'm using a sanding band. This is a 240 grit one, and I'm just trying to see if it's gonna be fitting like the length of my nail bed, if that makes sense. So I'm just trying to make that everything is prepped wherever the tips are gonna be sitting on the nail. So basically what this is doing is just creating an extra layer of adherence. So for when you will be adding the base has something to grip onto. If you are using some tips that have the already the pre-etched matte thingy on the inside, you can just leave it as it is, or you can also use whatever primer you are using on your nails to etch the inside of the tips. So after I'm done filing all of the tips, I'm just gonna lightly dust them. You can also just use an alcohol pad to remove the dust. Here I'm just using some alcohol to remove the dust from my nails and brush them. You can just go and wash your hands, but I was just lazy to do that. Okay, so an extra step here that you can do, this is optional. I'm just using an alcohol prep pad to make sure that I remove any natural oil residue that I might have on my nails. Sorry, I think you can hear my dogs barking. Okay, after that I'm just gonna use some nail prep. Again, this is like an extra step that you can do to ensure that you remove any oils from the nail. You can see me here adding a layer of primer. When you do this, make sure that you only apply it on your actual nail and do not apply it on the skin. So after you wait for about 60 seconds or however your primer says to wait for it to dry down, you can grab any base coat that you like using and add a very thin layer to your natural nails. You can also try to use a peel-off base coat if you're not planning to wear the nails for more than, I don't know, 1 or 2 weeks, or if you're just lazy to file them and soak them off. It's important to use the base coat because that's gonna give your gel tips an extra layer to stick onto, because like any base coat will dry up in the lamp and then be still like have a tacky layer to it. So that will again help your tips to adhere better and stay on longer. I do not recommend wearing them for more than 4 weeks, I would say. Again, you can use any sort of base coat that you trust and just have laying around. You don't have to use the specific one. You can also just add like a thin layer of rubber base. Here I'm just cleaning up some of the areas where I felt like I touched the skin with the base coat. It's very important to remove it before curing. So after curing the base coat in the lamp for about 1 minute, I'm just showing you how I applied the rubber base to the gel tips. It's important, at least from my experience, to pick one that's a bit more thick in consistency. It's not gonna flow as much on the sides or even in the cuticle area. So I'm just using here a lamp to flash cure for 30 seconds. I'm using the one from Jelly as well, the same brand as the tips. So I'm just gonna leave in some more clips where I show you how I am applying the tips to my nails. It's very important to not push them all up into your cuticle, because if any of that rubber base will overflow, it's just gonna overflow in your cuticle. So it's very important not to do that. Do not let those products touch your actual skin, because it can cause an allergic reaction and you don't want that. So again, trying to go underneath the cuticle, just make sure you apply at a 45-degree angle and then slowly press it down. It does take some practice to learn how much you actually need to add on the inside of the gel tips, but I think with time you can quite get to perfect the technique. After you flash cure the gel tips, do make sure that you do a full cure in the big lamp for at least 1 minute to make sure that the gel has cured properly. You don't want uncured gel to sit on your nail bed again, because that's going to cause like an allergic reaction. Just make sure that you document yourself before trying to do your nails at home, because there can be lots of risks. So this is how they look like after I have applied them all. Here you can see me slightly buffing away that tip on the end. This just ensures that you get a cleaner look. Don't leave that behind, because it's gonna make such a huge difference and make the gel tips look so natural. This would be the perfect opportunity to also reshape the nails if you feel it's needed, or in a future clip I will show you that I have like a slight bit of overflow on the side. I'm also gonna file that down. Yeah, so you can see it here. Make sure you do that just so that you have like a crisp edge. You can see I had a bit of it here on this finger as well. I'm still trying to get better at doing my non-dominant hand, but it takes a lot of practice and time. So what I'm using here is like a carbide bit that has a safety top, so it's a bit rounded at the top. I'd like to use this one because I don't know, it just makes me feel a bit safer when I'm sealing the cuticle. You don't want to be touching your skin or your actual nail bed with it because it's gonna cause quite a bit of a damage. So here I'm just lightly buffing the surface and trying to make the tip as uniform as I can with my natural nail. Just make sure you flip your hand on more than one angle to be sure that you, I don't know, see like all the little bits and flaws that you need to file away. This also makes it look more like your nail and not just press on nails. Here I am just taking away the shine from the gel tips. I like to do that because I feel like whatever you put on top of it is gonna again stick better, have a better layer of adhesion. So I'm just making sure that I remove all the shiny spots from the nail. Again, don't be afraid to check your nails from all sides. Just make sure that you buff them really well. So what you see me doing here is actually removing the numbers from the gel tips. This is just an extra thing that you can do if you want a more crisp look or make it look more like your nails, I guess. I was actually planning on doing some clear nails, but I will tell you more about that later. Okay, so here I'm just using some cleaner to remove the dust from the nails, and here I'm grabbing a bit of acetone to sort of melt the tips with my own nails in the cuticle area. Just make sure that you don't use a lot of acetone when doing this. Just slightly dip your brush into it and then rub it down. I'm also going to be using a clear rubber base just to top it all off. You can also go up to the cuticle area to ensure that you are filling in any gaps that you have. You can also do like the overlay method if you like your nails to be on the thicker side, but I feel like it's not really that necessary. Maybe you can try to build an apex if you feel that the tips are quite flat, but I feel that these that I'm using today have a nice natural curl. I'm also going to be adding some top coat underneath just because it's gonna give back that clearness that the tips have. So as far as the design goes, I was trying to make my own clear black base and then do like a black airbrush on top of that, but it turns out that my airbrush machine broke, so I had to improvise on the spot, but that's okay. So you're seeing me here apply the first coat of the base that I made, but I actually ended up applying 2 coats of that because I wanted them to be a bit more opaque. So after I realized that my airbrush machine was not working, I ended up applying some of this matte top coat, and after curing that for 60 seconds I have removed the sticky layer with some cleaner, and then I'm going to grab one of my pigment palettes. This is just some random one, and I am going to layer some of the black and some of that deep purple, and you'll also see me laying down some of the navy one. So I'm just going back and forth trying to create like an aura sort of look. It's not very visible on camera. So after I was satisfied with the look that I made with the pigments, I just went ahead and also dusted off the remaining powder that was still on the nails, and then I laid down a thin coat of top coat, but I'm only going to be curing that for about 30 seconds, and that is because I want to do a chrome on top of that. And I find that with this top coat, if I do a full cure, it's not going so smoothly. So here I am using one that you can find on jelly as well. It's super pigmented and very smooth, and you do get a lot of it in this tiny container. So afterwards, again, I'm dusting off the extra chrome that I have on my nails, and it is always key, very important step. If you are doing chrome, make sure to lightly file down like the edge of the nail, and afterwards also remove the excess dust before top coating. When you are encapsulating the chrome, you can also go like on the free edge to make sure it will stay on properly. I don't think I did it with this set of nails. I can't remember if I did it. I don't think so. But that's just like an extra step to do if you want to make sure it's gonna stay on for a long time. Here I will be doing some 3D blobs. I'm just using like a super fine liner brush and grabbing some of my Gene B thick top coat. I just love how versatile this product is, and I really recommend it if you would like to try something like this. Sorry for not being too in frame for this part, but it was pretty easy to do. Like, it's a very simple look, and I hope you liked watching it.